Seatbelts are not as confining as a wheelchair. Drive carefully. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
It's coming, the new family of EC polymer notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you.
Holographic foil strip.
This feature is on the $20, $50, and $100. When you tilt the notes, the images and colors in this section will change.
New image on the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir K. Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antwine.
EC polymer notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
Grenada's economy is heading for its 7th year of consistent growth, averaging over 5%. Unemployment was reduced by 20%, while debt to GDP ratio was reduced from 108% to 63.5%. NNP committed to the economic and social development of our people. NNP delivering on the promise.
So I'm here with the Right Honorable Dr. Peter. Can you just give us a few brief regards and overviews of what you think of the National Summer Program of this year?
Well, I think the Ministry of Youth saw it in their own wisdom, of course clearly supported by the government, to initiate the summer activities to keep our youth during the vacation engaged in something positive. So I think the initiative itself is a very noble one. And the fact that these kids have come out in the various centers throughout the country and be able to be involved in something productive, making things that can in fact excite them in terms of the end product. So you never know, later that might find some of these kids so like what they were involved in initially, as the young lady just pointed out, that they may find that later on they want to set up their own little business when they are finished with school, recognizing there are in fact market for some of the things that they are producing. But they will determine what areas of materials they want to produce. So I think it's a noble initiative, as I pointed out to the kids a while ago. When I was young, like everybody else, we get into mischief and holiday time, and sometimes we give our parents a lot of trouble. So having put them into a program where they can produce something and help themselves, it's a way of discipline. It's a way of helping them to grow with a sense of the purpose, a sense of where they can do things more positively and allow themselves to be sometimes influenced by the negative forces which exist in the society. So I think we are aware of that. So I think it's a good exercise, hopefully. Whatever, because this is probably one of the initial areas in initial activities, I don't expect that the program will be perfect. But maybe next year, going forward, you may see we'll learn from any areas of weakness and improve on it, like everything else.
And can you tell us, would you be encouraging all of your other friends to become next year?
Yeah, I think I would advise them if they can.
Nice. Well, we look forward to seeing you next year. Please. Can you describe your typical approach in interacting with the students and their participation in developing their skills in arts and crafts?
First of all, you have to get them to settle down and show them what it is to do in craft.
Okay, and some of the things they made are?
We do floral arrangements, we do some baskets, and some vase, and also some soaps.
And what did you guys use for those?
We use flowers. We use the oasis to do the floral arrangement, and in doing the baskets, we use the canvas with the wool.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure that everyone enjoyed being a part of that and
My name is Dr. Louis Amede, Community Youth Officer.
great. And can you tell us how optimistic are you towards hosting future summer programs?
You say future. I'm highly optimistic because I'm in to see the type of craft that those kids learn for the past 9 days. It was very impressive. So I'm highly optimistic.
Nice. And can you speak to us about the factors which the ministry have considered in planning this youth program?
The ministry consider many factors, and there were many different challenges that they had to go through to get this summer program off the ground. But at the end of the day, we have come to it.
Very nice.
Green Climate Fund approves more than 180 million EC dollars worth of projects for Grenada to date. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, September 17th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The value of approved projects for Grenada under the Green Climate Fund amounts to 184 million EC dollars. Minister for Climate Resilience, Senator Simon Steele, made this disclosure on Tuesday as he provided an update on developments within his ministry and projects in the pipeline. Minister Steele recently participated in a global programming conference in the Republic of Korea, which was attended by a number of stakeholders and partners, including the GCF, which is the largest climate financing agency.
At this conference, there were over 600 stakeholders from both developing and developed countries, in addition to international development partners and international financing institutions. So the likes of the World Bank, IDB, IFC, the UN Environmental Program, UN Development Program, GIZ from Germany, JICA from Japan, you name it, they were there. And this was an opportunity for countries such as Grenada to present to this international community our needs, our challenges, but also our plans, our projects, and our programs.
Grenada, Senator Steele says, had the opportunity to follow up on a number of active projects that are currently ongoing with the Green Climate Fund.
Those included the G-Cruise project, which is building extra resilience into our water sector, how we can capture more of the rains that fall, how we can distribute that to water-deprived areas, especially when you consider, notwithstanding the rains that are falling right now, but the extended dry periods and droughts that we're experiencing. So this is a very transformative, very important project in our national development. The value of that project is 125 million EC dollars. And that is provided in terms of grant support from the GCF, but also support from the German government.
The opportunity also presented itself to have dialogue with stakeholders of the GIZ, the German Development Agency, which is the implementing agency for the project.
Contracts between GIZ and the government of Grenada should be concluded by the end of this month. So we should see a launch, and that should be a big event for us as soon as possible, hopefully in the month of October. And we'll start to see boots on the ground by the end of this year. And this project will touch every single community, the length and breadth of Grenada, and provide significant job opportunities for our men and women in terms of the implementation of this project.
The Carriacou Community College has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the University of the Virgin Islands that paves the way for an academic partnership between both institutions. Students enrolled in programs at TAMCC will be able to transfer their credits to the university, which is located in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Principal of Carriacou Community College, Dr. Jeffrey Britton, is pleased that this partnership gives the students the privilege to more academic opportunities.
There is nothing more important to us at the college than ensuring that the highest quality education is available to our students and to all Grenadians. At the same time, TAMCC has the opportunity to collaborate with this regional university on its pathways to greatness, academic quality and excellence, student development and success, the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, institutional research and planning, institutional assessment, and student learning outcomes. These will enhance our ongoing pursuit of an effective and continuous quality assurance mechanism to ensure compliance with the internal and external audit of our programs and to extend and enhance what we do.
Mr. Haldane Davies, Vice President for Business Development and Innovation and Executive Director of the University of Virgin Islands, says this is the beginning of a strong relationship.
There are many things here at TAMCC that you do that I'm sure we will take a very close look at and see how we can model what you do and learn from you. And there are things that we do at UVI, as Principal Britton said in his remarks, that you'll be looking at here at TAMCC. And we look forward to that strong collaboration. Our goal, and both of us agree on this quite strongly, that this is not another paper and pen exercise. We need to see real action after today, going forward, to make sure that this is fully implemented all the way.
Also present at the MOU signing on Tuesday was Interim Vice Provost for Access and Enrollment Services at the UVI, David Winnie. He says that the MOU goes into immediate effect.
It is effective immediately, and so we are already accepting applications for admission for students to begin with us in January 2020, spring term in essence. And so we admit students for fall or spring, and so the funding is available. We were also able to make this offer available to returning students, and so I don't believe we have a current student from Grenada that I'm aware of, but should we, and I will do my research on that when I get back to the office, because effective today, the discount is also available to he or she.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
Continuing the news, it's still at the proposal stage, but an ambitious project to convert streetlights to energy-efficient LEDs can save the government thousands of dollars. It was one of the projects discussed with the Green Climate Fund and other stakeholders by Minister for Climate Resilience, Senator Simon Steele, when he recently attended a global warming conference in the Republic of Korea.
The first is what we call the G-LEAP project. This is an energy efficiency, renewable energy project, which will convert all of our street lights from the energy inefficient sodium light bulbs to energy efficient LEDs. So this will reduce government's public electricity bill significantly, and those monies can be invested in other areas, other productive areas. It would also make all of government's public buildings, some 40 buildings, carbon neutral by installing solar panels on many of our public buildings.
Senator Steele says a financial facility will also be provided for the private sector to access the necessary financial resources to implement energy-efficient solutions in their businesses.
That project is valued at somewhere in the region of 68 million EC dollars. So we're still completing the writing of that project, and that is together with the Caribbean Development Bank and UN Environment, and we hope to have that submitted to the GCF at the earliest possible opportunity.
Persons involved in the Enhanced Country Poverty Assessment and those preparing for the Population and Housing Census are participating in a 4-day workshop on statistical communication and advocacy as part of moves towards better statistics. There has been greater focus regionally and internationally on the importance of statistics as a result of development agendas like the Sustainable Development Goals and the Samoa Pathway, which address the need for stats in small island developing states. Mr. Timon Charles, Deputy Director of the Central Statistical Office, says as stakeholders they have a critical role to play in advocating for the use of statistics for evidence-based planning and decision-making.
We'll be working on our census communication plan because we will be conducting our census in 2021. So we have to start the planning process now. So we'll be doing our census communication plan, and also the part of the workshop will involve in terms of how to teach stakeholders to communicate with the media and to work with the media in disseminating statistical data to the public.
The training targets public sector stakeholders in the national statistical system who are directly or indirectly involved in the production and dissemination of statistical information and statistical advocacy. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
The strength of the iron, it's in the testing. Bring them up. It's not a loss, it's just a lesson. Be grateful for your blessings. You've been digging deep to find that inner strength. No, it's not the time to give up. No, nah. I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat. Where we control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. Please, I feel so irate. Wake up and I ready. Must make it ever steady. Setting goals is necessary while they hiding. Precious time they wasting like a disease. It starts spreading. Now it shift their eyesight. I say, I don't know why. Some will worry about the next man's stride. Try to match up a next man's life. Fix your life. And as soon as I start walking on, you want to make something must be wrong, you man. I don't come here for that. All you help me burn and dirty. And I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me, please. I'm telling you, rule number one, we don't come to make nothing from them. I'm telling you, stop the people, music, look, everybody chatting. I'm telling you,
Yes, indeed. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk, and we're live on 97.5 City Sound FM,
89.5 CRFM,
92.9 Sister Isle FM,
and 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn.
Yes, indeed. We're also live on Facebook, Hard Talk Grenada Live, YouTube. You look for Hard Talk Grenada, and on our website, www.hardtalkgrenada.com. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And we'll be taking you up until the 12 o'clock hour. The Joint Groovy Monarch. I don't think we have had a tie with Groovy before. This year was the first year, I think.
Yes,
I don't think I've ever seen a tie for Groovy before. Shonda Lamade, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how you pronounce it. A son of Laborie, member of the Royal Grenada Police Force Band. So the only thing the police have not won so far is the Soca Monarch, yeah? Yeah, police officers win the Groovy. They win the Calypso Crown. I think they've won the road match. I wonder, no. I don't think our police ever won the road match, you know. No.
Have there ever been
I'm going to check that one.
Have there ever been a tie in the Calypso competition?
In the Calypso competition, I have to double check that one. I'm not sure if they ever had a tie now. Fellas wear tie when they're going on stage years ago, but I'm not sure if they had a tie for the first. No, back in the days, you had to attire yourself properly when you're going onto the stage and so. All right, it's a beautiful Wednesday on the Isle of Spice. Not a rainy one. I don't know if it had rain in your neck of the woods, Devon, but
no.
Yeah, that rain go away yesterday, and that is it. You dump what you have to dump, you do what you have to do, you flood what you have to flood, and you gone.
I ain't sure if that's it yet. It's nature have a funny way of doing things. Well, we could do it a lot more rain.
Yeah. And Devon, the National Sustainable Development Plan 2035, they're having their meeting tomorrow. And they're going to come to St. George. So they're going to be at the Happy Hill Secondary School. So a good friend who always calls there, you and your crew, you have to head on out to the Happy Hill Secondary School for 7 p.m. tomorrow. That's the National Sustainable Development Plan 2035 Committee. They're going to be there. The facilitator for tomorrow, Mr. Michael Stephen, he is the facilitator for tomorrow. And the rapporteur will be Mrs. Elaine Henry McQueen. So that's starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow at the Happy Hill Secondary School. All right?
Be for you, with the real ones rooting for you. Just let your energy introduce. You can say, I don't know why. So we'll worry about that next man's try. Try to match up on next man's life. Fix your life. And as soon as I start walking hard, you want to make something.
Say a special good morning to all of you right now down on the St. George bus terminal. Good morning to you, Cammie. Good morning to all of the bus drivers, all of the other vendors down there, all of the passengers who are sitting on the buses waiting to go to their various destinations, and those of you who've already left going to your destinations, those who are standing up waiting to get a bus to go to where they're going. Yeah.
You know, Sheila, there's a discussion going on about the bus drivers and the conductors and the license and the permits, and so especially for the conductors. And so I'm wondering, it is not in law for a driver or owner of a bus to have a conductor. Okay, you cannot force him to have a conductor. But I look at it on the other side. If you don't have a conductor, for some routes, I can understand. Okay, they not the need for a conductor. But if you don't have a conductor, when your bus is traveling and someone asks to get out and your door is closed, who's opening that door? If the passenger refuses to open it or touch the door?
Well, the driver at the park, come outside, open the door, and go back inside.
I'm just a thought.
And if it's along a busy route or one of the shorter routes, that's a hard one for the driver.
Very disadvantage.
That's a hard one.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a hard one for the driver.
So it's
unless what they do is that they get one of those buses they have no way to touch a button and the door open and close. Yeah, they could get out. They had us,
Yeah, they have.
They have them.
They
Touch
have
a button
those.
and it open the door and close the door.
So,
Yeah.
because they are definitely on a lot of most of our routes in Grenada. I mean, as a matter of courtesy and so to the passengers, conductor is should be in place.
Yeah. Let's say a special good morning to the folks there at Travelers Bar, Shortman and Yvette. It is a Wednesday, so it's soup day today.
Shortman, you still want goat? Yeah, I could conduct some goat for you, if you're still interested.
Yeah, it's a soup day today, so you can head on up to Travelers Bar.
What kind of soup it is?
Well, I'm not sure exactly which one. Usually does have split peas, peas soups, either split peas or pigeon peas and so on. Yeah, so different soup. So you could find out. Well, I'll get a message sooner or later telling me exactly which soup they have today. Later in the day, you could also go and get your fish and so. Right? Yeah. Nice. Beautiful. And folks, it's a sort of open program today. The phone number 440-7377
and 347-329-3101.
In roughly 7 minutes from now, we will be taking the WaterWise program for today. Yeah. Some people, and this is one of the things, some people were complaining that the water was turned off in their area yesterday. And we had said, and you would realize it's like, okay, rain falling and so much rain falling, why no water turn off the mains? Well, folks, when a lot of rain falls, when it falls the way that it fell in some areas yesterday, it can silt the dams. In other words, the topsoil, from all the dry weather we've been having, the topsoil and the leaves and the branches and all of that is washed down to the reservoir. When that is washed down to the reservoir, it can clog the pipes that take the water from the reservoir down to the treatment facility. Right? So it can clog it, and water therefore cannot travel from the dams down to the treatment facility, where they filter it and they treat it and so on so that it's drinkable and all of that. When there's heavy rain, that's what happens. So sometimes, to protect the treatment facility from heavy things like the silt and so coming through and clogging up the treatment facility itself, they have to cut the supply. They have to cut it.
Necessary.
Yeah, they have to stop it. And that's what they did yesterday in some areas, all right? Because some folks have been asking, well, how come all our water and they cut supply and so on? Yeah, that is what happens sometimes.
Well, yesterday, as I said, on my way down, I noticed the river right there in River Road was right at the edge. Sheldon.
But he didn't break over.
No, it didn't break over. When I was returning, going back up, fake news. And so it was still at that level, and I was wondering if we only have a shower again later on, that's it. But good, got the
it tailored off towards the end of the afternoon. It tailored off.
But when I reached to Birch Grove, we had to detour. All right, because the Baltazar Bridge, or usually call it Conblay Bridge, closest to the one closest to Grenville, the flat one. Yeah, that one was blocked and so.
I saw that.
Yeah, right up so vehicles.
You don't even matter that amount of rain for that one.
Yeah, and because a lot of bamboo and that occur every time.
Yeah.
So you had to detour and so traffic had to.
Through St. James.
Yeah.
Or
no. Well, you had a choice. And so to go St. James, if you cut it early.
Yeah.
But if you pass that Birch Grove Community Center, your best bet is Bylands.
Yeah.
Also, we had parts of Grenville Town under some water yesterday. And
you see, that's why when the minister was speaking about climate change yesterday, it's important to note that some of the monies that are being secured are to deal with issues like these that are as a result of climate change. Yeah. And there are several things that cause these. One is the rising ocean levels. The ocean levels are rising. That's one. But also the effect of man himself. Because if an area was forested, so it's a lot of trees and so on, rain falls in that particular area, it's deflected by the trees, all the trees that are there, it hit the leaves and so on, and it trickles down to the soil. Much slower, so it has more time to evaporate. Yeah. It's one thing. But when you have concrete and houses, and galvanized roofs and so on, corrugated iron. The water hit and it come down. The volume of water coming down in that area is going to be significantly increased because of the actions of man. And that's nobody in no other country. That's no big nations with the CO2 emissions and all of that. That is us here. Because you see it happening, particularly in the Grenada area, Guankai Hill and these areas, one or two areas there. You see it happening that the flow of water that's coming down has increased because of the volume of houses that have gone up in these areas.
Yeah.
So it's no longer a case where it's trees, so it slows down the water and it takes a time and some evaporate or it's soaking into the soil and so you have a trickle coming down at the end.
Yeah.
Right now is road, is concrete, is galvanized. So by the time it hit, it's just a high volume of water pitching off.
Just pure water.
Yeah.
Most of it, almost half or 3/4 would have entered into the soil around the houses and so. But now we have
concrete
instead of yard with flowers and so we have concrete right through with a driveway for a car.
And now some people don't even want the lawn because they don't want the problem that they cut the lawn. So instead of having a local lawn and thing, concrete.
It's concrete.
So they're increasing the offlow of water.
Exactly.
So yesterday, the Peggy's Whim water system, the National Water and Sewerage Authority, they had a dam blockage due to the continuous rains and the water supply was interrupted in some areas. We have a call on the line.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Devon. Good morning, Sheldon.
Good morning, my friend.
Yeah. But year after year, I'm concerned of year after year that people, we have a severe season, like a dry season. People always seem to be complaining about the water. People will put aside money for foreign. They put aside money for tiding. They put aside money for parties, to having a nice time. But nobody put aside my money to invest in a tank. You know, you're living in an area where you're in trouble for water when it's every dry season. Invest into a tank, no man. You're taking small money to buy a tank, build a little concrete system, set up a platform where you go rest at the tank and you go collect all it. Why do you make water waste? This water fall like full for 1,000 gallon. That go flow about 1,000 gallon. If you are at the airport to a tank, there are a lot of water wasted, so you could save the water. So when them see the dry season come, you don't have to call a radio and say you don't want water. Temporarily invest. And so you put aside money for a lot of one money. What got to do? Got to spend money. Where got to do? Get the money. Go and spend that money. Where you spend it? You know that I got money. Invest in yourself. You have to prepare for it. Go help the church, but there is nothing wrong with helping you do something. But invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself because you have to live right here and out. You know. Here you have to live and here you have to die. So invest in yourself, man. Time to put things in place. Invest in a tank, and the top must stop calling and say, oh, you don't have that. Invest in that tank. You don't take in friend to invest in that. All is running away wasting. So I can take care of that little island call.
All right, brother.
All right, my brother. One love.
Yes, indeed. And on that note, we're going to head directly over to the WaterWise program for today.
Water, Earth's purest life-sustaining resource, can easily become contaminated by environmental conditions. NAWASA continues to improve the quality of its water supply through state-of-the-art water treatment systems and trained, experienced staff. NAWASA preserves our health and quality of life. NAWASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Good morning, consumers. Glad you can join us for this edition of WaterWise, a production of the National Water and Sewage Authority, NAWASA. I am Wendy Chateau. Today we express gratitude for yesterday's rains. Having been challenged in supplying our customers with a reliable water supply in recent weeks due to prolonged drought, the rain has brought some welcomed relief. According to the Met Office, the rains are a result of moisture associated with a tropical wave which has already passed. We are, however, still in the environment and can expect some showers into today, gradually improving over time. The rains resulted in 6 of our systems: Maribo Water System, Mount Plaisé Water System, Mount Horn Water System, Peggy's Whim, Mount Rule, and Concord being challenged. Heavy rainfall makes our systems highly susceptible to dam blockages, which hinders the production of water for adequate distribution to our consumers. So, the need for adequate storage remains of utmost importance. We therefore encourage you not to get caught unprepared. Develop a culture of having adequate water storage. It is important both in the dry and rainy seasons, as challenges can occur at any time. Always bear in mind that without water, we are unable to complete many household chores, and of course, our personal hygiene is also affected. We therefore continue to preach the message of ensuring you store at least a 3-day supply of 35 gallons of water per person per day to assist you in mitigating against the discomforts associated with the lack of access to water. And even as you store, it is also important to pay attention to how you manage your use of this valuable commodity. Household users can develop water-saving habits to aid in reducing strain on our already stressed supply by continuing to take decisive actions in your home. Reduce the number of times you flush your toilet, as unnecessary flushing can waste up to 265 gallons of water per year. Launder only full loads of clothes whenever possible. Turn the water supply to your washer off when not in use, just in case a hose leaks or breaks. A running tap uses more than 4 gallons of water per minute, so turn the tap off when brushing your teeth. Those are just some of the measures you can implement to ensure you play your part in minimizing the strain on our water resources during the dry season and having a stored supply in the rainy season when our systems become susceptible to turbidity and blockages will ease your discomfort. It is important that we all play our part in the process. At NAWASA, we are committed to meeting the needs of every consumer. However, you can help by collecting and storing a minimum of 35 gallons of water per person per day for a 3-day period, taking into consideration the needs of your household and pets. And even as we welcome some rain, it is important to note that spells of heavy rainfall can easily be overshadowed by longer periods of dry spells. This brings us to the end of WaterWise for today. On behalf of the entire team at NAWASA, I am Wendy Chateau, wishing you a fantastic day. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay connected.
Water, Earth's purest, life-sustaining resource, can easily become contaminated by environmental conditions. NAWASA continues to improve the quality of its water supply through state-of-the-art water treatment systems and trained, experienced staff. NAWASA preserves our health and quality of life. NAWASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
If you think safety rules are a pain, try having an accident. Drive safely. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
I am Grenadian. I am Grenadian.
Yes, indeed, we know you are.
I am Grenadian. Just tell them.
Yes, we're back. You've had the WaterWise program there. I think they did a better job of explaining it than we could.
Yes,
but they also made the point that the last caller made, and Devon was making that point off air there a while ago, the importance of storage. Yeah, it's not every single time you go to turn on the tap that there will be water there. So you need to have some sort of internal storage. Yeah, or at least external if you have it outside the house. Yeah, somewhere.
And you know, I notice in moving around, I notice a lot of persons have those blue drum those containers, large ones, sitting outside their houses, inside of their houses with things like clothes and books and all these things, and they do not have 2 or 3 of these things collecting water for storage. Can't understand why. You can also use these containers and make your own 1,500 gallon storage right there to supply you with water to flush toilets, to wash clothes, to whatever you want to do, and so on. Then you have separate ones inside, as indicated, for drinking and so. We need to do much better than that, right? We allocate money, as a gentleman said, for all sorts of things, but
Devon,
for storage.
You see, I think sometimes we need to look back to look forward. I sure used to jog water.
Mm-hmm. Lots of it.
Yeah. Some of them don't even know the meaning of jog.
Yeah. Why is it jog water? Like jog? Why is jog?
What's a jog? Yeah.
Or tote water.
Yeah. In Trinidad, you tote water.
Yeah,
Grenada, you jog water. Right? But we know that as children, we had to do that.
Every morning and evening.
That was one of your chores. You get your bucket or your bottle and you had to jog water and fill the barrel or the whatever at home you had to fill it. You had to do that. Yeah?
That's when we had lots of standpipes and so. And most of us didn't have running water to our homes. Right? We had to go and jug water. Those buckets and so, and 4 or 5 gallon. I mean, not much of those at that time. They had the smaller ones. You had to put that on your head. And so on jug water to bring it home.
Yeah, well, for the ladies, you just had to jug it on their head. And fellas, you hold it. Okay, I want to show you strong, so you're holding your toothpick.
I see a woman with one bucket on her head and 2 of them in her hands come out for water. Not the big ones, but I mean 3 things with water holding. I was like, I mean, women do some amazing things when it comes to house chores and these sort of things when they go to the river to wash and all. I mean, not much people even use the river to wash.
I don't mind that one anymore because to put those kind of chemicals that it have now into the river, I ain't to agree with that one.
Well, it depends on where you go.
No, not only where you go, but what they're using in the water system. Because remember, whatever gets into that water system can get into the drinking water and so on eventually. It can affect, if there are farmers further down, it affects them and so on. And seeing some of the chemicals that they use in the detergents these days, yeah, I ain't too upset that much people ain't washing in the river. Yeah, they could wash otherwise. Because that particular one, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go with the blue soap and everything.
Yeah, blue soap and thing was one thing, but nowadays it's all kind of about 20-something different chemicals you can identify, all kind of heavy metals and so on that are used in these things. But again, the importance of storage, the very high importance of storage as individuals. And NOASA says it nearly every program. At least 3 days supply. Yeah. At least 3 days supply. So if water was taken yesterday, that at least you had supply for yesterday, today, and tomorrow. At least you have for that 3-day period. I believe there have been instances where some folks have said, well, it's been more than 3 days. I've heard some folks saying that. In some instances, some folks call, and it hasn't even been 3 days. It has been 1 day or so on. But they don't have storage, so it's affecting them negatively.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you.
I'm not tolerating that caller on this program for obvious reasons. Yeah? Find another program. Seriously. Sometimes we just have to put our foot down. Because what you said the last time, you shouldn't be calling back this program. Yeah? Nice. Beautiful. So it's important for us to have storage.
Very important.
Very important for us to have storage. Because many of the people that you are calling, it's due to the fact that they do not have storage. So they are being negatively impacted when there's no water in the mains. Yeah?
And a lot of them can do much better, eh? They can do much better in terms of, helping that situation. A lot of us, we complacent. We not focus on what is important at a point in time. Water is something you have to make sure you have. And now, as I always say, at least you have 3 days supply. Every day, you must have a 3-day supply. When tomorrow comes, that 3-day supply must also remain. You understand? As long, because it's so important. You do not know what will happen at any point in time. A disaster, some hazard, water is needed, and so we have to pay more attention to things like that.
Yes, indeed. I see the students, the past students of the Westerhall Secondary School, they're having a reunion. Yeah, I'll get some information on that. My friend who is listening, you sent a link that for some reason is not opening. I don't know why. Probably it's an internal group, but I am not seeing it. It's not opening, so I can't tell what is it. All I know is that you said that it's a reunion, but I'm not getting the details. All right, nice, beautiful. And the Westerhall Secondary School was opened in 2004. Was it 2004, I believe?
2004.
Yeah, I think it was around the time of Ivan.
Ivan, somewhere there.
Yeah, I think it was around Ivan time that school was opened. I think so. I have to confirm that, but I think it was around then. To those of you in Carriacou, yeah, and we go to some sad news there. To those of you in Carriacou, there is a candlelight vigil tonight for the youngster that died over the weekend in that drowning incident. that died over the weekend. That will be taking place from 6 p.m. behind Sands. So for those of you that are in Carriacou, the youngster that died over the weekend, Keron, the vigil for Keron, the candlelight vigil for Keron, is going to be taking place behind Sands. Everybody in Carriacou know where behind Sands is. Behind Sands from 6 p.m. this evening. All right? So those of you that can make it, and even if you can't make it, but at least you let the family know that they're in your thoughts and prayers, at least if you let them know. All right? So that's behind Sands. And, we have a tendency sometimes to move away from certain things and not mention them. But the people of the Bahamas are still suffering. We know that when Hurricane Ivan hit, months and weeks and years after, we had people that were still in dire need. And it's just a couple weeks, even though it seems to have fallen out of the news cycle right now because it's no longer fresh news, something new. So it's a bit fallen out of the news cycle. So many folks are not remembering that there's the bank account that they can give a little something to. So it's the Grenada Cooperative Bank, bank account number 121004900. That's 121004900 at the Grenada Cooperative Bank. You can donate to assist our brothers and sisters up there in the Bahamas because the situation is still bad with a lot of them. Huh?
Very serious.
Yeah. So imagine a lot of them, they need medical care, they need housing, they need, because some of them, it's not like they're in tents and so. We know it. A lot of us have been through it, so we understand to a large extent what they are going through, even though it seems what they are going through is much worse than what we went through here, but we understand. And therefore, if we can assist, whether it's a $5, whether it's a $10, whether it's a $500 or $5,000, whether as an individual you want to make a contribution, or as a group of individuals you want to put together and make a contribution. All of you in the workplace may decide, let's all chump up together. We're giving our lunch money today, and you chump up together and you deposit that at the Grenada Cooperative Bank. We have a call online.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Not too bad. Good morning.
This is Kevin Frederick here, just our beat man.
Yes, good morning.
That was the next issue we move into, so go right ahead.
Well, let me tell you how go on, boss. The numbers have been pouring in. Yesterday we had 420 at the National Stadium alone.
Wow.
200 down at the Trade Center. And
how much at the Trade Center?
200.
200, right.
Yeah. And this morning the lines were filled again, and so much so that about an hour ago, Sheldon, we had to shut down the line for dental because it's oversubscribed. Thankfully, a lot of the sensible people have been encouraging people like yourself, encouraging people to go there, and take advantage of their services. Just forget all of the negatives, and they have seen to be the positives. But as I can tell you, it is still too late. Why I'm saying that? Because a number of people have been calling our minister, calling me, calling Dr. Martin, calling and see how can we try and squeeze them in the surgeries and so on. But Sheldon, surgeries likewise oversubscribed, and cannot do no more surgeries. Every country had an allotted amount. We begged for some extra, we got it. We beg again, we got it, and we just can't get no more surgeries. Unfortunate. I met a lady, who was in tears. There is nothing I could have done about it. She can't see in one eye. She has very limited vision in the other, and she allowed herself to be fooled by, rumors that were going on, and that was, and still is heartbreaking to me. I mean, why would you do that? To really help someone deny. I'm saying help because contributed to that person being fearful and so on, and the individual did not go in time to access the services. And I could tell you, our next appointment date at the hospital is in June 2020.
Oh, come on, man.
And her neighbors and so on discourage her to go. And Watermore and so on, her relatives said that, listen, let's try and get you to go. And by the time they check us, we do not have any more available spots.
If she had gone Sunday or Monday, that surgery would have been complete. In fact, she'd have been coming off the boat today or tomorrow.
Yeah, So, I mean, it's so disheartening that, people would, go out of their way to discourage people and now, she is so desperate. There's nothing that we can possibly, do at this time. We still are trying, working diplomatic channels, see what can happen. Our minister is on the ball. We had a meeting this morning, and, he's trying and see what can be done. Working diplomatic channels, because he did it before for us to get the extension in terms of more spots. But there is so much we can get, and they have been very, very friendly to us, by giving us extra spots. So like, and what will happen is that spots that the other islands did not fill, it will roll over. In our case, we didn't have no more because we even took up spots that were available from Trinidad. So, right now, we have no more spots, and, a lot of people are, just, asking, what can we do, But the truth is, we can't do anything at this time. I mean, it's past late right now.
Mm-hmm. Hence the reason, Kevin, that we were preaching to persons, go early.
Yes.
Because if you know that there are 150 spots per island, and you know the thing opens on Monday, you can't go on Friday or Thursday or Wednesday and expect to get through. By that time, 150 people done pass there already.
Well, I mean, that is true, because on Saturday alone, 18 people went.
Yeah.
And some went Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
Monday, and so can you imagine by yesterday, you didn't have spots. It was because and it's not just cataracts and so on. 1 minute, please. It's just like, not just cataracts and so on. You have plastic surgery, you have hernia repair, you have hemorrhoids, quite a variety, And as I said, bro, this morning alone, all the dental shut down at the Trade Center. Now the Trade Center is not, our heaviest site.
Mm-hmm.
Our heaviest site is at the stadium, and it was shut down. Likewise.
Oh, goodness.
So I mean, it's just a wake-up call for us, to sometimes don't take everything that people say, get it from the source, they follow, all kind of nonsense on Facebook and all, they are saying, I had known. But there is so much we can do. Anyway, bro, I'm going to be posting some photos for you.
Okay.
I started doing that already, and I mean, it's just nice, seeing that people are coming. And you correct, Sheldon? I saw some vehicles this morning, and it resembles that of Bingo.
Those are people who can afford, and they're making use of the opportunity. Some people who have to go and walk around with a donation sheet or try and do. Those are the ones that sit down at home and saying, "Oh, they ain't going."
Exactly.
So, and you can't give the people who going wrong, because you see that type of vehicle, you can't get them wrong.
Nope. And some, exactly, because the people who are going there, some of them driving, some top of the line vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as I said, there isn't anything me or Minister or Dr. Martin, can do at this time. We tried, encouraging people. We did. We sat down at night, and make, phone calls and so forth, begging people to go in, because we had a list, and, some of them turned it down. And I mean, and what is what is laughable? It's serious, but it's laughable, Sheldon. I'll tell you why. Because the individual whom I spoke of just earlier, would you believe the surgery that individual is expected to do in June? Guess who will be doing it?
An American doctor?
The Americans are coming down here to do it.
Oh, brother.
So you allowed yourself to be fooled. You don't want no American this, that, and the other. But your surgery that is pending in June will be done by Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that, does it make sense? You know, why did you pass up on an opportunity like that? Now, who knows? God forbid. I hope she does not lose her sight by the time June 2020. I sincerely hope that does not happen.
Yes, indeed. Kevin, we'd like to thank you so very much, and we're glad to know that as many people as possible have made use of the spaces for the surgeries. We're glad to know that many people have. We're sad that some people who ought to have did not, because there may be people that did that surgery on the vessel that could have afforded to do it, you know.
Yes,
privately.
There were.
Yeah.
You know, and yesterday I responded to one comment and I said, your idea that business people alone comes from Lansapin and so on is totally wrong. I said, because, there are bus operators who have 3 and 4 buses on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They could afford to pay and go and get it done. But they were at the stadium as early as Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I won't call him.
And we can't get them wrong.
No.
And I'm not giving them wrong.
This morning at the stadium, a former president of a bus association, he has about 2 buses, and one is a coaster. So I give you a hint. He was at the stadium this morning. He is a businessman. But as I said, the people, I have seen PSCs and so on. So people saying, poor people, ain't going for that. And I'm laughing. I'm saying, but look
sad.
at that.
It's sad.
PS in the ministry makes X amount of dollars a month. Thousands of dollars.
More than a junior minister, I could tell you that.
Thank you. I have seen junior and senior ministers. I have seen PSCs. I have seen bank managers and so on. Credit union people, officials who making money, thousands of dollars a month. And they because you see, healthcare knows no dollar sign, it knows no race, it knows no color, it knows no identity. When cancer and so on and cataract hitting people, it hits you across the board, regardless of whether you're from Lansapin or from Guelph or from Victoria, wherever you're from, it is going to hit you. So I'm sorry, but I mean, it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yes, indeed. All right, Kevin, we'd like to thank you so very much.
No problem.
And we know that you have a busy day as well, even though that part of it is closing. But we know that you still have a busy day because diagnostics are still being done on the vessel.
Yes.
So you still have people who can get their X-ray done and
and we have
the MRI
we have to
and so.
coordinate that likewise, return and follow up on all of that, You know what, Sheldon, one more thing. We ran. I gave up my seat yesterday in the vehicle because a man from Carriacou came down on the dolly seat.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was dolly seat. But either way, he started walking. Right? When he got to the bus terminal, he was walking. Dr. Martin and I called him, where you are? The man and his wife walking come across, in the rain. We went and met him. I gave up my seat. I said, boss, come, go inside. And I walked back in the rain to the stadium because that man came down from Carriacou. He is on the boat doing his surgery.
Oh, boy. Well, Kevin,
people don't understand, what we do.
Yeah.
As they say, the noise in the market is not
the sale at all.
The sale at all. But you and Devon keep doing what you guys doing, man. I mean, it's excellent job.
Definitely.
And I'm always there, just touch base anytime, and we are in.
Okay. Thank you
All right,
very
boss.
much.
Take care.
Bro.
Enjoy.
Yeah, man.
Wonderful
Okay.
day. You know what is my greatest concern, Sheldon, is that why I want a lot of Grenadians to take that opportunity. Opportunities like that comes around every so often. But if organizations get to realize that, look, people in Grenada are not filling the slot. They are refusing. They are coming out in small numbers. They will show no more interest in partaking and doing any things like humanitarian things in our country. So we need to ensure that we go out there and do what we have to do. It's our health.
Yeah, and that's the thing. One of the problems that I foresee here is that a lot of the negative comments when you're negotiating to get the vessel back. Remember, those negative comments are taken into consideration. Those negative comments are taken into consideration because here it is that we've taken a multi-million-dollar vessel, we've sent it with millions of dollars worth of equipment and staff and medication and so on to offer a service to you for free, and you're basically telling us to go to hell. Yeah. So those comments that are being made by a certain segment of the society, they are being taken into consideration. I've seen instances where the family members of corpsmen and sailors on that vessel have been making statements that they're worried about their family here in Grenada.
Based on the comments that they see.
Yeah, they're looking at the comments. Once they see anything mentioning that vessel, obviously they'll look to see what it is. Yeah. And then when they see some of the comments by our own Grenadian people in relation to the vessel, they are worried. Now, why should the U.S. government and the U.S. military go through that again?
Exactly. And they can focus on other countries.
Luckily, we've exceeded the amount of surgeries that were allocated to Grenada. Good negotiation skills on behalf of the minister and the team at the Ministry of Health and diplomatic corps to be able to get additional surgeries outside of what was intended for the island of Grenada. We've been able to secure more. But you see, again, that's why we say it's important to be early. A number of people went on Sunday, but Sunday could have got through, no time flat. So some people went Sunday, a few went on Monday, but look what happens now. By Wednesday now, oversubscribed. You have to stop doing dental for today at the different locations. So somebody went today and they reached late, they have to go back tomorrow now or Friday to try and get the dental done. Those who have to do the eye surgeries, too late shall be the cry.
A
Go
question
ahead.
I was about to, wanted to ask Kevin, but I think I picked the answer up. The total amount of surgeries, right? It's a combination of the different types.
Yeah.
Total up to 150.
Yeah, the different types of surgical procedures.
It would have been nice if we had 150 for eyes, 150 for this. Would have been nice, but that's the allocation we
imagine
have.
A person,
and we got more.
Imagine a person, you're playing with your vision, man. You got opportunity to do that surgery for free. Now you're going to sit down there for about 8 months or 9 months or so to wait until, come on, man. We have to be wiser than that, all right? We have to be wiser than that. But, folks, it is just 1 minute after 11. Time for us to go to the Solid Waste Management Authority program, and then we'll be right back.
Grenadians are well known for being friendly, hospitable people. So let's keep it that way. Here are 5 tips that you can use to better serve visitors, customers, and each other. Smile while interacting with persons face-to-face and on the phone. Maintain a warm, friendly tone when greeting someone. Be polite when asking a question and offering items for sale. Ask your guests if they are comfortable and enjoying the experience. And in all that you do, exceed expectations. Tourism benefits everyone. Tourism is everybody's business.
Pleasant morning, listeners. This program comes to you from the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, striving for a cleaner and healthier environment. we focus our attention on the link between waste management and a call to climate action, number 13 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set aside by the United Nations. The Sustainable Development Goals, otherwise known as the Global Goals, are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. These 17 goals came into effect in January of 2016 and will guide the United Nations Development Programme policy and funding until the year 2030. In order for most of these goals to be achieved, proper waste management must be addressed as a priority. Today, we focus on number 13 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, a call for climate action. From a solid waste point of view, this means there must be a reduction in the amount of methane and carbon dioxide being released by dumping and the burning of household refuse. Here in Grenada, approximately 45% of the waste being sent to the landfill is organic in nature. The decomposition of these organic materials releases alarming amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and depleting the ozone layer. Two of the major greenhouse gases found on landfills due to decomposing organic waste are methane gas, which accounts for 50 to 60%, and carbon dioxide, which accounts for 40 to 50%. We cannot stress enough the need for a more serious approach to composting organic waste rather than sending it all to the landfill for dumping. There needs to be a rapid decrease in the amounts of organic waste being sent to the landfill for final disposal. These include organic waste such as food scraps, vegetable peelings, grass trimmings, brambles, old fruits and vegetables, etc. Therefore, we are encouraging all to get into the habit of composting rather than adding these organic wastes together with regular household garbage for collection. And you can do so by simply placing grass trimmings around trees to be used as mulch, separating your organic waste from regular household waste, and by creating a small compost heap. Another issue of concern apart from sending our organic waste to the landfill is the improper waste disposal practice of burning. The burning of unwanted waste continues to be a challenge for us at the authority as more and more small business operators and householders have the tendency to discard of their waste through burning without thinking of the many health and environmental complications associated with the practice. At the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, we continue to provide a twice weekly, sometimes daily garbage collection service to 98% of Grenada. So there is absolutely no need for persons to be engaged in the practice of burning. The burning of garbage releases greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, along with tiny particles and toxic chemicals that can harm both human health and the environment. This is not in keeping with the Sustainable Development Goal of a call to climate action, but also goals number 3, good health and well-being, and goal number 15, life on land. So as we strive towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity, we must take a more hands-on approach in joining with the international communities towards adopting the best practices of waste management. Waste management is an essential service, and everyone is entitled to the health, economic, and environmental benefits it brings. That's our presentation for today. Do enjoy the remainder of your day from the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority.
Yes, indeed. 6 minutes after the hour of 11 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. The phone number 4407377
and 347-329-3101.
Yes, indeed. Let's pop back over to the phone line.
Good morning and welcome.
Scott Kevin again calling back.
Yes,
because I don't want people going across and they can't get services.
Mm-hmm.
So as it relates to the stadium, general surgery, they will only be seeing like about 15 more, and there is more than that under the tent already. So that is locking off before midday. We can only take now pediatrics because all of the other specialties are filled. Okay. Ophthalmology, filled. Dental, as I said, shut down already. So we don't want people to be going there and then expecting, like, for example, dental or ophthalmology, and they have to be turned away. So if you hear me now on any one of the radio stations or on social media, this is just to let you know that, most of the specialties will be shutting down by around midday because they are oversubscribed.
Okay. Maybe we're doing our job a little too good now.
Yeah, fine. I'm fine.
That's good.
All right, but that's not a problem. At least the opportunity is being used to its full potential. Who wanted to stay late for whatever reason? Well, we can't help them. All right? Thank you very much, bro.
No problem, bro.
All right.
One love. Yeah.
Yeah, so folks, as it is right now, pediatric is the only one that would be available again at the stadium for today. Pediatric. If you've got to get there, you've got to go early tomorrow. Yeah. So general surgery closed off. Ophthalmology closed off. Ophthalmology is closed off, and dental closed off.
Okay, and when you talk of general surgery, all right, what are...
Well, bottom line, general surgery closed off. Okay. So don't if you know a surgery that you needed and that kind of thing, that's off. Yeah. All right. So you've got to be there early tomorrow or early on Friday to make use. But if you are one of the persons, because there are a list of persons at the General Hospital here who need surgery, eye surgery and so on, and other minor surgeries that are scheduled for times next month and early next year, for the first half of next year. And the very same person that called a short while ago, Kevin Frederick, and Dr. Martin and others at the ministry sat with that list and called persons and said, listen, your surgery is for then, but here it is, the boat is here, and you will have a first opportunity to have your surgery done. We've got all your files, everything together. First opportunity. These persons were called. Some of them ain't go. They say, nah, afraid. They go and they listen to what people saying all over and so on. People trying to talk for them and telling them all sorts of things. They listen to them. And now, when they're hearing the stories from people coming back off of the vessel, they're hearing stories from people coming back off of the vessel now and saying the wonderful treatment that they got and everything. Now they want to go when it's too late. You can't blame anybody but yourself, because you have your own mind. You could have thought the process through. Now, the individual that told you that is not the one that's suffering with what you're going through. You're the one that's going through your problem. Yeah? But instead of going and sort it out, for instance, the person was called in relation to the eyes. One of your eye done, basically you can't see through it. You're getting to sort that out for free in the month of September. But you listen to people, now you've gone too late, and you have to wait until June to have it sorted out. I mean, come on. Yeah, we have to think sometimes, man. You have to think.
And you know, there are a lot of out there who are doing that stuff, suffering our children. There are young children who have conditions that can be taken care of, but because of your narrow way of thinking and you letting people convince you that it's not the right thing to do, you suffer your children.
This has nothing to do with politics. This is about you and your health. And it's sad. It's sad. It's not something I'm happy about. It's sad to see that people who need it did not make use of the opportunity. All right? And now, with some of the negatives that being said, and with some who have benefited not coming out, not calling and say, well, look, I mean, forget Cami. Cami, make sure she called and she said this is what she went and everything. I've gotten messages inbox from people who they got their treatment, they're happy. We had a caller yesterday, a bossman, I think it was called, said, look, I went, I do my thing, and they're happy. And they called and they said, look, we've got that and we're happy. But when the vast majority of comments are these negative things about conspiracy theories dating back 60 and 70 years, 60 and 70 years, not involving this vessel in any way, not involving anybody on this vessel in any way. Yeah? But conspiracy theories from people from years ago, and people who try to give the impression, pseudo-intellectuals is what I call them. They try to give the impression of being intelligent, but they are not. So they use big words and they speak about theories that they don't even understand, and they speak about things that they know not. They don't even know. They have not even researched this vessel. They've not researched it. They've not met anyone who has been on it. But they are there telling you don't go. So you've got 2 more opportunities. Only 2. Tomorrow morning, Friday. That's for the dental, ophthalmology, and that sort of thing. Surgeries, that's the end of surgeries. Yeah. Pediatric, they still have about 12 more spaces, he said. Pediatric or so?
15.
No, 15 was general surgery.
General surgery, yeah.
Right? So they've got that. So if you've got your child, you still have a little bit of time to bring them. They close off at 3, so you can't reach there at 3. They're closing off at 3. That means that they wrap up and they leave at 3. Yeah, so you've got to go now. If you've got to go with your child, you've got to go now. All right? So that's it for that particular one. Devon, we nearly completed the program without saying happy birthday, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to say a very special happy birthday to a very wonderful lady, Mrs. Yolan Bain Hosford. Yeah, you're celebrating your birthday today, sweet 16. Yes, so we say a very special happy birthday to you.
Look at the smile on her face.
Yeah, and we know the family will make it a wonderful one for you. Yeah, that's Devon MP.
Boss man.
But it's my MP too, eh?
Boss man, pull out all the stops. Today is a special day.
Yeah, in fact, don't stop at all. Yeah. No stops. Yes.
Run the lights and all.
Yeah, do
just do things. Make that day a special day for her. And I know members of our constituency branch, St. Andrews Southwest, will make it a special day for her. She has been the parliamentary representative representing that constituency on 3 occasions.
Yes, a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
And we also, I see Depot. Yeah, not Depot, eh? Depot. Depot has been asking about the team heading out to the World Championships. Depot, when we get that information from the Grenada Olympic Committee, we'll let you know. Sometimes they take a while before they announce the team. I can tell you that there are several athletes who have qualified. Whether or not those athletes are available or will be going, that's a different story. But I know that Karani James has qualified. He had a time of 44.47 when he ran a week before when he ran. And he ran just in time to qualify for the World Championships. Anderson Peters, Markham Felix, Josh Boateng, they've all qualified as well for the World Championships. So there's a high possibility you'll be seeing them. You also have Lyndon Victor and Kurt Felix. They have also qualified. As to whether they're part of the team and they're going, that's another story. So when the Grenada Athletic Association, the Grenada Olympic Association, and so when they put out that final bit of information, we will let you know. All right? And I assume that we'll have that information probably before the end of the day today. If the championships are starting next week, but those particular events will be starting later, we'll have that information most likely before the end of today or tomorrow or so. They'll send out what the final team is. All right?
Sheldon, also, I want to say congratulations to the Spice Boss, the senior football team of Grenada, who has been doing excellent so far in the CONCACAF qualifying round. 2-0 so far. Belize and St. Kitts, I think. Yeah, under the belt. On the 13th of October, the next bout at the Kirani James Stadium against French Guyana.
So come on out and support,
yes, and support.
Yeah.
You know, they are doing their best. You know, so go out there and support the national football team, and and they strive to qualify for the World Cup. We can do it. We can do it. It's not impossible. All right.
And
so
I've got a message here from Bevis, and she's saying, "Dear members of the Wester Hall Secondary School alumni, we are hereby requesting the assistance of all members in aid of the highly anticipated day, November 30th, 2019, their reunion event. They're humbly asking for a donation of $50 from each of the Wester Hall Secondary School alumni to make this a fun-filled event. They also plan to highlight members who have contributed through their donations through a soon-to-be-published website and also through all of the Wester Hall Secondary School alumni social media platforms. They do have their Facebook page and so. Thank you all for taking the time to consider their requests. If you have any questions or need further information, please feel free to contact them. You could contact Bevis and 534-6410 and 405-0263. Donna Lewis on 536-3861 and Sheldon Braffett on 414-5318. All right, so it's on the 30th of November. They're having that reunion. So you could go and look for their Facebook page. They have a Facebook page, WHSS class from 2004 to now. So it's WHSS class from 2004-now. So you can go there. If you're a past student of the Westerhall Secondary School, you can go there. So the school is 19 years? Yeah. 19 years?
Wow. Also to Sheldon, we must say happy anniversary to the Anglican High School. It's their 103rd anniversary. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's today, either today or sometime. We want to say congratulations to the Tantin girls. Mm-hmm. All right. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Devon.
Morning.
Yeah. Devon and Sheldon, I know something. I just can't understand why some big people, who be common sense, letting people make choice for them. Let people choice. You caring about it. You know what is good for you, what is right for you. But you're allowing people to make choice for you and tell not to do that, not to do that, and what to do. But if you want people to make choice for you, sometimes you always be in some difficulty. Because when they encourage you not to do that, but who encourages them in making their own choice for themselves? They want to encourage green and big people. You're big, you're of age, you make your choice. Right? And when you make a choice that is good, sometimes it's good for you and will benefit you, you do what is right. Because your health is your health. Because when you're sick, right, you bear pain. You bear all the burden. Because the person who tell you not to go, they will not give you the money. Right? So I want to encourage the green people. The limited time that the American doctors are having, make a good opportunity with it. Go and get health care. Because health care is important. If a nation where there is a lot of sick people is not a wealthy nation. And I want to encourage the people to go out and get proper health care because it's important to be healthy. So, Brother Devon Sheldon, you have one thing. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So remember, you've got 2 days. I mean, they're giving down to glasses and all. Yeah, you're getting glasses free. Yeah. You're reading glasses, and so you're getting it for free. You ain't going.
I hope I'm praying. I hope I'm not too late, right? To get the service, the eye service, and so I'm really hoping I'm not too late.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to get the Ark piece back to Grenada. That was the Chinese vessel. Yeah, the Chinese vessel. But who knows where this vessel is going to be deployed to next? It might be in the Pacific. It might be in South America. It might be in Central America. It might be in the, the Andaman Islands. You don't know where it's going to be deployed next. So you've got to make use of the opportunity now. When you lose that opportunity, that's it for it. That's it for it. So folks who can go, please do go. Those of you that can, please make sure that you do go. Don't sit there arguing about the boat should be in the Bahamas, what it's doing here. Don't sit there saying about, they're coming to do... I ain't even repeating some of them. I'm not going to repeat that nonsense.
Let's not give that juice.
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that nonsense.
Sheldon, just trickle back a bit, when it comes to the whole question of the weather and everything like that. I want to really send out show us some praise on our environmental wardens who over the months, Sheldon, has been out there ensuring that the drains have been cleared, unblocked, and so. Because traveling yesterday, noticing certain areas over the hills and on my way to Grenville, areas that I know, right, that as soon as some rainfall, you see a spike in the water, the roads flood and so. And noticeable yesterday, most of these areas, right, when passing, the drains were flowing freely. All right, and I really, really want to congratulate them for continuing to do a good job in ensuring that that the drains, the overhanging, and so are being taken care of, so we have less problems when there is heavy rains and so.
Indeed, and folks, remember the phone number 440-7377
and 347-329-3101.
A reminder to those of you in the Happy Hill area. and surrounding areas. The National Sustainable Development Plan 2035, the team will be at the Happy Hill Secondary School tomorrow. That's the 19th of September from 7 p.m. The facilitator for tomorrow, Mr. Michael Stephen, and the rapporteur will be Mrs. Elaine Henry McQueen. So that's going to be taking place at the Happy Hill Secondary School tomorrow. And then on Monday, let me just make sure that is Monday, the team moves to the Grenada Boys Secondary School. So those of you that can relocate to the Grenada Boys Secondary School. Yes, the prize to the one who earns it. Right, nice, yeah.
Your golden rule.
Lead the song, eh? Right, nice. So head there on Monday, all right? But for those of you in Happy Hills and surrounding areas, St. George Northwest in general, they'll be at the Happy Hill Secondary School tomorrow from 7 p.m. Head on out, all right? Nice. Nice. I went for medical in the stadium. After a while, 14 of us were taken to the treat center. While there, a senator was there taking care of himself. It's important, yeah. Take care of yourself.
Health has no boundary.
Yes, indeed. We have a caller.
Good morning and
Sheldon
welcome.
Devon.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, I think the meeting for tomorrow, please God, at the Happy Secondary School, he postponed it.
Well, they ain't call and tell me not what kind of thing is that?
Yeah, I think he postponed because he had a meeting in GBSS tomorrow evening too.
No,
the meeting. But I think the office,
let me find out.
He sent the information to the head office.
Well, let me find out. All right.
Could you find out?
All right. Yeah, I'll have to check my email and see if it is in there. Okay, all right. So, postponed, right. But I have to send the rest of the information to me too, you know. Yeah, and I'm Scott, not Scoot. All right, nice. All right, yeah. Get it thing correct now. Scoot. Yeah. The St. George Northwest, they'll be having a barbecue luncheon and after work lime and fundraiser. That's going to be taking place on Friday the 4th of October. So between they have lunch as well between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. So we're going to give some more information in relation to that as that one comes up. Yeah, we're going to put that one on the schedule to remind folks of. So let me put the National Sustainable Development Plan thing aside because that one is off. Right, folks? So that one is off for tomorrow? Right, nice. So that one is off for tomorrow. But remember, if you're heading to the stadium or you're heading to the trade center, move early.
Yes.
All right? Move early. Don't wait until last minute and then said, if you had known.
If you didn't know.
Yeah?
If I didn't know. According to the doc.
All right.
The raw language.
Because you've got some services that have already been offered. And folks, there have been Grenadians who have been staff on these vessels as well. Yeah? I'm related to one, so I know for a fact. Nobody ain't asking me. I know for a fact. My cousin is a staff member on that vessel. They're off the vessel now because they just came off vacation. Carnival now is a Grenadian, so they'll here for Carnival. So they're off of the vessel right now, but they'll be returning to the vessel before the end of the year. It's my cousin.
Well,
yeah, and they are staff on that, and there are other people from Carriacou, one gentleman from Carriacou who's been a staff member on the vessel.
Yeah, well, my brother who was a soldier in the U.S. Army, he's in Miami, he's ensuring that, hey, make sure you go. Do the checkup. You get in the best. You know, so we just have to search for ourselves, find the information, and do the best thing. I mean, what is best for us? If you are sick, why should you allow somebody to tell you don't go and seek medical attention? It doesn't make any sense. I'm puzzled by some of the behavior of some of our people. And then when they really need it and the ship is not there, you know, they turn somewhere else. I mean, we have to be much more, you know.
Yeah. I'd like to say good morning to Garfield down at Garfield's Bar. Garfield, good morning to you, bro. How's the dart tournament going on? Yeah, they have a dart tournament going on.
A long time I haven't played that
darts? Yeah, you need to check by Garfield's Bar, man. They have dart tournament. Always have darts going on there.
Love that, man.
Yeah, dart tournaments and them kind of. You know, man used to go and buy the special set of darts and them kind of thing. And they want nobody touch the darts.
No.
And
just like the pool stick and so.
Yeah.
Man can
basically
play
bar
pool.
games, darts, pool, that sort of thing. Dominoes is a bit noisy, but dominoes, you know.
It's a bit noisy.
Yeah.
All fools and that sort of thing, you know.
So, folks, you could pick a pass down by Garfield's Bar. They have the darts tournament going on there. Yeah, make a pass tonight and find out about it.
Also, too, some information. I don't have it in front of me, but I can tell you, as of the 27th of September this month, right, the Southeast constituency will be starting the every month Friday Lime. Okay? That's at, I'm just trying to, the destination. But one more information is available, we will give, but it starts from the 27th, right, and every last Friday, I think, of the month and continuing. Okay, so
but you want to know an interesting fact, though, Devon? St. George University School of Medicine. That school of medicine that's based here on the island of Grenada, that was brought onto the island by Sir Eric Matthew Gary. That school that contributes significantly to the gross domestic product of Grenada. And it does that by, one, rentals. The students, they rent places to stay, vehicles and so on. They purchase foodstuff, be it fresh farm produce, be it stuff at the different supermarkets and so. They do on their downtime, they go and take a little drink, be it down at the brewery, or be it at same Garfield's Bar or wherever.
Bananas,
they find themselves. They even find themselves by Short Man. So Travelers Bar. Remember soup earlier? Soup by Short Man.
All up in Livera.
Yeah, they find themselves different locations, and they get their drinks and they hang out and they go hashing, and they contribute significant amounts of money to the Grenadian economy. But here's what. Outside of the significant amounts of money that they contribute to the Grenadian economy and the GDP of Grenada, and remember, they expanded a few years ago, and, you know, a good few years ago, it was just a school of medicine. Now it's St. George's University, so it has medicine and there are other areas as well. And even the size of it expanded.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Look at
and the number of students has expanded.
Look at where they were originally, right there at Grenada's Beach.
Yeah.
That front there, and look at where they are now.
But here's what. St. George University is the second largest source of doctors in the U.S. healthcare system.
Wow.
St. George University of Grenada. It is the second largest source of physicians in the U.S. healthcare system.
Wow. So it's
the only school providing more than them are the Indiana University School of Medicine. And Indiana University School of Medicine, in 2018, last year, their numbers were up to 11,828 doctors in the U.S. healthcare system. And in second position, you had St. George University School of Medicine with 10,791 doctors in the U.S. healthcare system.
So it's not just good for us since Sir Eric Matthew Gary brought it here, but look at what it's doing to the U.S. health system, you know?
If you've been to one of the white coat ceremonies, as I've been to one of the white coat ceremonies too, while this is the case for the United States, it's also the case for a lot of other countries. I saw folks there from, let me see, I saw folks from African countries. There are a lot of folks from African countries, in particular Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. There were folks there from Middle Eastern countries. There were folks there from other Asian countries, as in India and so on. There were folks from New Zealand, Australia, all over the world that are at the St. George University School of Medicine. So St. George University School of Medicine, according to, and let me give you the source of that information, is the Journal of Medical Regulation, the U.S. Journal of Medical Regulation. They have stated that the second largest source of physicians in the United States healthcare system, they come out of St. George University School of Medicine on the Isle of Grenada. Yeah.
That's good information. Just pick up the information there about St. Andrews Southeast. Grand Bacolet Friday Lime, right? That's at Kuma's Junction. 27th September.
So Grand Bacolet Lime is in Kuma Junction? Kuma Junction is part.
Junction. Right? You know what I say? Grand Bacolet Friday Lime. Kuma Junction. Okay? All right, 27th September 2019, 6 p.m. Right? Eat and drinks on sale. That will be from the 27th and every last Friday of the month continuing. Okay? So you have somewhere to go in St. Andrews Southeast, right? Every last Friday in the month. And so to have fun and enjoy yourself. Okay? Support St. Andrews Southeast.
Depot.
Emlyn Pierre.
Depot says fig leaf in moonlight sometimes look like a zombie. A zombie man waving.
Of course.
Don't listen to foolishness. Take advantage of the services. Yeah. And Louise, let me see. Denise is saying that her gynecologist in the U.S. went to school at St. George University. Yeah, and you find that in a lot of the hospitals. In fact, here's what's happening. You have people that are leaving here from Grenada to go and see a doctor that trained in Grenada. So you're leaving here to go and see a doctor that trained in Grenada. You might even be surprised to find that one of the doctors on the boat might be a student at the St. George University School of Medicine. It is highly possible.
Many of them.
Highly possible. Yeah. Depot is also saying triple A's for SGU, atmosphere, authenticity, and accessibility. And that's true. Yeah, and some of the folks who are studying there, they come down with their family. Yeah, so they come down with their family. Or sometimes parents come and they drop off their kids, so they're coming down and then they go back and that sort of thing. So
and they come perhaps every once a year just to visit them, and so it's great. It has been, I mean, one of the backbone of our economy, right? And as we see, not just Grenada, but the United States.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of physicians it's providing for the medical service out there. We got to be proud of that.
Denise, probably when your doctor told you that, you always could have started talking about different parts of Grenada, because we know they don't just stay on the compound, they're all over. Some of them know the island better than us. So, yes, indeed. And it's also helping other islands, because nearly every other island in the Caribbean has folks that are here. I know Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Dominica, St. Kitts, Montserrat, and so on. Definitely, there are students studying medicine here in Grenada from those islands. And the thing, you're within a few minutes at home. You're within a few minutes at home. For Jamaicans, you're within 2 hours at home. But others, you're within a few minutes at home. Yeah, anything, you could be home like that.
And you know, we are so fortunate having that the university there. The General Hospital, right? I mean, it's the type of service that they can get or advice, or even it is being used for some of the trainees to do, you know, some of the practicals, and so we are fortunate to have, I mean, doctors, so many of them passing through our health system here in Grenada, and so that, I mean, that only goes well for us in the future.
Yeah,
right, definitely.
And I'd like to say a very special good morning to Mrs. Ann David and Twine. Today's her anniversary, so to her and her husband, do have a wonderful day today.
Happy anniversary, ma'am.
Mrs. Ann David and Twine. Do have a wonderful day, you and your wonderful husband. Yeah, uncle. Right, nice. Have a wonderful day today. Your anniversary day today. All right, nice, beautiful.
Special day.
Folks, 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
And if you've been one of the persons that went onto the vessel, don't keep that secret to yourself.
Talk to us.
You can call and you could let people know, look, I've been on the vessel. There's nothing to fear. Or even if you didn't get onto the vessel itself, but you've been to the Trade Center, or you've been to the Karani James Athletic Stadium, and you want to let people know what the process was like and how you interacted and how they interacted with you, you can call and let us know, all right? Yeah, feel free to do that. Call and let us know exactly how things went. Yeah.
From the
In fact, one of the things, Devon, is some of the folks who studied at St. George University, their vacation is always here.
Always.
They come back. Whether it takes them 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, they come back.
And some of them may be interested in buying property here in Grenada and make it
so I don't come back looking for this one and looking for that one. Hey, where's Sheldon? Sheldon used to live here. They come and looking for you and so,
and you know what? A lot of them, when they get a good food, a good place to lime, when they return, that's one of the first places they go to make sure that the service that they got there, they can, get it again.
So they do come back, and some do become parts of medical missions here, because it's strange, when you hear people talk about, the US this, the US that, and the US don't do this, and the US don't do that. You hear them saying that. And then there was a medical mission just recently, dental mission, came from United States. There are other missions that come down shores. They come down and so on, do surgeries and these different kind of thing. And you don't hear people saying anything about them, but I mean, just trying to understand this one, and it's not clicking, bro. It's not clicking. Yeah.
Okay, don't try to.
Yeah.
You shine from deep within. See,
But yeah, they do come down every now and again. Yeah.
but you bad for this. Your show.
And they do spread the word about Grenada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, again, it's how some people try to encircle these issues with negativity. Back in the days when Sir Eric Matthew Gary was starting, when he was going through the process of bringing St. George University here, he had a lot of resistance from different forces.
Plenty resistance.
Most of it was political.
Yeah.
Most of it was political. You may have had one or two persons inside there that genuinely had a concern. In their mind, they saw it as something bad. We don't want that here, that kind of thing. You may have had one or two persons there. But most of it was political. And look at what it is doing for Grenada's economy. And not only Grenada's economy, but look what it's doing for the United States healthcare system. Look what it's doing for healthcare systems around the region and around the world. They're churning out doctors that are going out there now and providing specialist services and so around the world right now. But outside of that, look what it's done to the Grenadian economy. Look what it's done for tourism for Grenada.
Sheldon,
There was even a series, a television series that was based basically on St. George University, Yeah.
There are two projects that was brutally assaulted in Grenada, right, over the past couple of years. And look at how they turn out and the benefit it brings to our economy and our people, right? The St. George's University, right, from way back as 1976 and so, and Port Louis Marina, the Mang. I mean,
They didn't want it.
Look at it now.
Yeah.
Look at them now.
But the people who fought against Eric Matthew Gary, some of them children and grandchildren working or going to St. George University. And this is a fact. This is not something that we're saying like we're just saying it and it's propaganda. This is a fact. Grenadians here and abroad know that this is a fact. The people who fought against Gary and fought against the St. George University. Well, let's forget Sir Eric Matthew Gary that fought against the idea of having the St. George University School of Medicine here. Their children and grandchildren are either working or going or have gone to the St. George University.
Yeah. And you missed not one part. Either their children, their grandchildren, right, was fighting against the NNP government at that time against the same lagoon.
Yeah.
No, again, that's a serious thing. Yeah.
But we've had individuals, and this is the this is the hypocrisy of some individuals, in that you've had those individuals that fought against the Port Louis development and so on, and how it's going to create seismic problems, seismic problems because they're going to damage the ground and volcano go erupt and all sorts of things they came up with. Right now, you have increased numbers of vessels coming here. Why? Because of exactly what just happened in the Bahamas and other islands. They are more central. They're in Hurricane Alley. Grenada is right at the fringe of the hurricane belt. And therefore, the insurance companies have been saying to the people who have accounts with them, send your vessels to Grenada. Don't send them to Trinidad. You have pirate attacks and so taking place there. Send them to Grenada. They are much safer. It doesn't mean that they are 100% safe in Grenada, but they are 1,000% safer than if they're in some of those other places. So they've been telling them, send their vessels to Grenada, to the same Port Louis. And you have thousands of dollars being made on fuel, thousands of dollars on the food and so that they're stocking up with, plus the cleaning, plus the canvas work and the other carpentry and so on that's taking place on these vessels.
The whole maintenance of these vessels.
Yes, so there are people that fought against that are benefiting now.
Matter of fact, they have businesses that caters to these boats and so.
And they are some of the same people that if you go lunchtime down there by Randy, you're seeing them sit down there. I don't have a problem with that, because Randy food is real good. Telling all you that. Randy food is boss. His staff, his ambience, everything is boss.
Some of us don't want others.
So you're seeing the same people there.
Yeah. Some of us don't want others to enjoy the beauty of Grenada.
Mm-hmm. But not only that.
So selfish.
You had certain people talking about Silver Sands. Who was there when Silver Sands opened, eating lobster and shrimp, drinking wine?
Morning, Ray.
Yeah, who was there? Some of the same people that attacked them.
They like to be in the forefront.
In front.
They love to be in the forefront.
There are some of the same people that going down there and taking their nice photographs and so I'm at Silver Sands, Grenada. Giving impressions, I'm at Silver Sands, Grenada. Yeah? Those are the same people that are doing that right now. So, folks, if we know this is a pattern of some people, that when the new National Party administration, was doing the work to expand the town of St. George, and now we see that probably expand the town more, because to expand the town of St. George and put in where the bus terminal is right now, to put in the area around where the new NIS building is and where things like Republic Bank and the Esplanade Mall are. When the administration was doing that work, all where the fish market is, you came up a lot of flack from individuals. It's like, why are you doing that? And it's going to cause Granans Beach. You had these environmental experts coming in and saying Granans Beach would disappear by now. We're not supposed to have Granans Beach because of the reflection and refraction of the waveforms of water coming in along the coast of the town of St. George, being refracted across the Grandans Beach and knocking all the sand particles out into the water. So we'd have rocks there, basically. We wouldn't have Grandans Beach. That's what people were told. Yet now, you have some of the same people looking to open business in that part that was reclaimed for town of St. George. You have some of them looking to open business there now. You are doing the stadium, and these people were against the stadium. Why are you going and do the stadium? Do a hospital first. So you did the stadium. Yeah, you did the stadium. Now, we could be talking about the World Championships, and we could be talking about the World Championships not in the sense of some athletes from Grenada jumping a plane and just going to the World Championships, but going there with high possibilities of coming back with medals. That you have the Pan Am javelin champion in Anderson Peters. You have Markham Felix, who is not that far behind him. Yeah? You have 2 bronze medalists at the Commonwealth, the Pan American Games, in Lyndon Victor and his brother Kurt Felix. Kurt the last time, Lyndon this time. Also medalists at the Commonwealth Games. So they're not just going and show up at the World Athletics Championships. They have a high possibility of medaling as well. And we ain't talk about King Karani yet. Plus, we have Braylon. Plus, we have some of the other female runners and so on. So it's no longer a situation. And all of that comes because of the development in sports.
You lay the foundation,
Yeah.
And so on,
it's not Queen's Park where you dip from a cow there and you're running that kind of thing. We into the modern era where Grenada's name is calling in higher levels when it comes to sports. Yeah? So, but there were people that said, don't build a stadium when the hospital was being rebuilt. Folks, remember what we had before? The board building?
A lot of young people don't.
You never go in emergency yet and hear a woman screaming in maternity ward.
Yeah.
When you go in the old hospital where it was. I don't know if you ever experienced that. You go with your pain, in the emergency.
And the X-ray.
Right, and while you're there, you're hearing somebody screaming at the maternity ward above your head, you know. Board building. When they're moving the patients from side to side, you're hearing them thing and them thing going down the road.
What about the cats?
Cat in the hospital.
Yes.
Doctors bawling poos. Nurses bawling poos. Patients bawling poos. Anybody had a song, send it for me. But that is the situation that existed. And while what we have now is not perfect, and no one is saying it's perfect, it's much improved from where we were to where we are.
Exactly. Stages.
And we see the new part being developed and being done properly so that we can improve even more. Yeah? So we're seeing that happening. Let's go to the phone line.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to your co-host.
Yes, good morning to you.
Quite fine.
Right, I enjoy the conversation. St. George's Port. I can't really tell you, but that's my concept. That's supposed to outlet on Queen's Park, the St. George's Harbour, the Ring Road, going around the hospital, and then the expansion to go right over there. That was conceptualized because of what was happening on the Lane Road and the Maras Hill. And I brought that to the attention of the authorities, the concept of a ring road to allow heavy transport to go west. You remember the time then they was building the red spot factories and these heavy factories at the Mongi area. And some heavy equipment had to go wharf. And that was really sinking down the Lane Road and creating a problem in the vibration going up the Lane Road and the Maras Hill. And so that was the concept of doing the ring road and the hospital to allow west traffic to use around the hospital west. And the lumber and all this other thing which cannot pass below the tunnel, they go west from the port. But you have to understand, and maybe you have to agree with some people, the School of Med, yes, there was a big hullabaloo in those days. But my thing is concept planning and execution. Once you conceptualize, you plan right, and people understand what you're trying to do, because you have to convey this to people for them to understand. But you see, the politics is creating a lot of problems. A lot of us don't understand politics. And we jump on the bandwagon of something we don't understand, and we tear down unnecessarily, and the politicians settle and interact among themselves. So most of the time is the supporters, what you call the support structure, that is creating the problem. So you people have a lot of work to do in maybe crossover into the supporters, exactly the strategies and how to handle the politics on the ground, and to leave out the rhetoric for the politician. And if you can succeed in doing that, I think a lot of the problems we're having, people is going to see clearly that, look, let us not be politicians, because I work under many, many governments. Even myself help community work. It doesn't matter which government in office, I do the same thing, because I understand exactly what I have to do and what the country need and my constituency need. So you have to get people to understand the politics and how they should behave in the politics, because if you don't, it's going to get worse. It's not that they want to criticize, but they don't understand why they're criticizing, because nobody educates them as to exactly what is politics, you know? And they practice the games that they're not supposed to practice against themselves. And when a politician is out and they're happy living their own life, then the citizens struggling as usual. So I believe it's how you convey these things to the supporters. They will create a problem on the ground. So you have to excuse a lot of people, but educate them and teach them. It's not getting vexed with people, but say, look, this is what you're trying to achieve, and could you see through this or see through that? That is the end result of what we're trying to do here. And I have a problem conveying a lot of things to my people on the ground. But you see, I'm a very passionate person. And I'm a person, whether you support me or not, I'm going to keep working, even though you don't want to help. I'm going to keep going and going. And when you see, okay, that's what he's trying to do, okay, they join in. And it's happening to me. You see?
Okay.
So I'm saying that
right.
Use that kind of science and strategy, and I think you're going to get a better result on the people.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
All right, my friend. One love.
You see, one of the problems that we have here is that some folks tend to close their minds to ideas from anybody that holds a different political viewpoint than them. They close their minds. And I dare say, when you look at the NDC, you see that mindset inside there. Because, for instance,
there we are, the highway.
The New National Party says we are open to ideas. We're open to individuals. Even if you were in the NDC, we're open to that. Yeah? But the NDC ain't that open, you know. They might give the impression, they might take a little Terry and put him on a platform and puppet him and say that, and all kind of thing, to give the little impression that they like him. But we all know they don't like him. Because even while he talking recently, there were statements being made about what they're doing with that man on the platform, take him off the platform, don't trust he, that sort of thing. You saw that sort of statements being made. Yeah? So they don't like him, but he's utilitarian. So they'll use him for the time being. All right? So we understand that when it comes to people like my good brother Terry. But within the New National Party, if there is something that's good for Grenada and it came from the NDC, no problem. Continue it and go ahead with it. Why should you stop it and say, okay, there's an NDC idea? You can't do that. It's like what was done to the Imani trainees. You came in, you said you could do a better program, and you sent all the Imani trainees home. While we came in, we did not send home the trainees from the Grenada Youth Empowerment Program. We kept them there until they finished their time under the program that existed, and you created the Imani program, and even some of the same people there were able to continue to a higher level through the Imani program. Yeah? So there's a difference in thought of how the political organizations operate. One political organization always want to jail somebody.
And the whole question of trust.
And some of them inside, they need jailing. You know? And serious jailing too. Don't worry. Soon time the information will be out. Some of them need some serious jailing inside it.
The whole question of trust comes when you talk about NDC, you talk about trust. Right? Most of their leaders and even a lot of their supporters don't even trust themselves. They don't even trust their own judgment. And so they will continue to have that whole thing about trust.
They wear belt and suspenders.
People. Yeah,
they didn't trust their own pants.
They didn't trust their own pants. For,
belt and suspenders.
And so for them to get persons to be part of the whole thing, it's only for a time.
But Devon, it even goes further in the same continuity. And I think, folks, this is why it's so important to make it out to the national sustainability process, because you have to have, whether you support the National Democratic Congress, that's your right. Nobody can vex with you for that. But don't vex with somebody because they support the New National Party. Yeah? But the National Sustainable Development has to deal with this particular issue so that one government doesn't start a program that is building and then another government come in and cut that program.
Break it down. We have seen too much of that.
We saw it happen in 2008. We saw it happen. Certain people in cabinet was telling them, don't do it. They didn't listen. Because certain people in finance had certain ideas and ideology and decided that, no, that had to go. But not only that, the last caller spoke about the situation with the ring road and so on. There was a proposal on the table from Zublin for the continuation of the expansion of the town of St. George. And in that project, the land between where the fish market is, going right up to Cherry Hill, that area was to be reclaimed. So you know what you'd have on the other side of the stadium right now? On the other side of the stadium, to the ocean side, you could have had buildings there. You could have had a jetty. You could have had parking there. You could have had space there, whatever. Because we're seeing a situation now with congestion in the towns, not just the town of St. George. You're seeing it in Guelph. And you cannot blame the people of Guelph. Everybody wants to have a vehicle. And if you're living on the lands, you want to be able to park where you could see a vehicle, or in something happening in the night or rain falling, you could get to your vehicle fast and move, so you can't vex because you're passing through and somebody parked there. You can't vex. You see it in the town of St. George, you see congestion, you see it in different areas. So, if that project had gone ahead, when Zublin were looking to do that, and you had the expansion of the town of St. George from the fish market going up to Cherry Hill, You had area there, you could have created parking, public parking. You could have created other businesses and so in that area. But because it was a project that was conceptualized and started under the new National Party, boom. You would have had that ring road that came from on the Carriacou. So when you come by White Cane Industries and them, they're right by the library. You could have had now a road that ran from there around that area coming back onto Melville Street or into the reclaimed area and joining up somewhere up by the stadium there with the main road. You could have had that. But instead of that, no. That project was conceptualized under the new National Party. No. Don't move forward with it.
So Grenada had to suffer because it was, organized by the new National Party and they're not in. I can't understand.
You had the Greater Grenville Development Project. Yeah. Remember, because the NDC tends to try and take credit for the meat market, the abattoir, and the Grenville market. Those are not projects of the NDC. They were executed.
And the
bus terminal. They were executed and poorly so. Okay, if I keep Joe around and listen to Joe, I'll let that guy done properly. He's an engineer. But anyhow, and poorly so during the reign of the NDC. But that was part of a greater project. That was part of the Greater Grenville Development Project where you reclaim lands outside of Grenville going back to Sobeys.
Right on the Sobeys. Yeah.
So you reclaim land outside there. That project was to deal as well with some of the flooding that you saw yesterday. There's a wider project there that also would deal with some of the flooding that you're seeing in the Grenville area, but also provide additional avenues now. So the containerized ships, you could have had them coming in Grenville.
Yeah.
Create the channel, and some of the containerized stuff could have been coming directly to Grenville. Instead of you having to get a truck and bring it up from the port in St. George, and then you bring it up over the 1910 or up St. David's Road or wherever. No, I mean they break bulk it.
Oh, yeah.
They break bulk it sometimes and they put it in trucks and they bring it over the 1910. Most of them pass along the St. David's route and that sort of thing. So instead of having to go through that you could have a containerized cargo coming directly up to Grenville.
Exactly.
In the same way that you can now have containerized cargo going into Carriacou. Another project that they stalled is when NNP came back in 2013 that project moved on again to have that facility in Harveyville.
Look at the problems that we encounter with our vendors right there in St. George's now. If we had, for example, the reclamation of the lands, right, from the fish market go upwards, even the vendors would have found, a lot of the food vendors and other vendors would have found areas where they can set up and occupy in a much more organized way. Because we've seen the increase, right, of services that they want to provide. But the space, because of the congestion, you find we have continue having problems with them, their location and relocation. So it's all about vision, and then when you're a politician and you're bent on revenge, you're bent on destroying what somebody else built, I don't think you have any way to go.
Because remember, the campaign for 2008 was we go in jail, Keith and Boyne. That was the campaign then. So it wasn't a campaign of we're going to build, we're going to develop, it's we coming in and jail. And you realize that is the same direction that they're heading again. We want to come in because we want to jail. Well, let me tell you something. All you quicker see the inside of Richmond Hill Prison before some of the people at all you look into jail. All you quicker see the inside of a cell quicker than some, because all you feel that all your skeleton and all your closet cover. All you know that some of us out here know very well what some all you up to. Yeah, so don't go and try and give the innocent face. We very well know. But that's all the time.
And Grenada closet never close, eh?
Yeah.
So if all they feel all lock and key.
But there's a water closet.
It never close. Open. We know how to, even if you put something on it, we know how to open it.
Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you. 1 minute after the hour of 12 o'clock. Time for us to go. And whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
Not about you.
Love each and every one of you. So enjoy the rest of your day today until tomorrow. And folks, remember, get out early.
I'm heading to the stadium right now.
Yeah, you want to go get out there early. Go and get Yeah. Tomorrow, go and do what you have to do. Early o'clock. All right, we're out.
For the genie, I think.
Green Climate Fund approves more than 180 million EC dollars worth of projects for Grenada to date. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, September 17th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The value of approved projects for Grenada under the Green Climate Fund amongst 184 million EC dollars. Minister for Climate Resilience, Senator Simon Steele, made this disclosure on Tuesday as he provided an update on developments within his ministry and projects in the pipeline. Minister Steele recently participated in a global programming conference in the Republic of Korea, which was attended by a number of stakeholders and partners, including the GCF, which is the largest climate financing agency.
At this conference, there were over 600 stakeholders from both developing and developed countries, in addition to international development partners and international financing institutions. So the likes of the World Bank, IDB, IFC, the UN Environmental Program, UN Development Program, GIZ from Germany, JICA from Japan, you name it, they were there. And this was an opportunity for countries such as Grenada to present to this international community our needs, our challenges, but also our plans, our projects, and our programs.
Grenada, Senator Steele says, had the opportunity to follow up on a number of active projects that are currently ongoing with the Green Climate Fund.
Those included the G-Cruise project, which is building extra resilience into our water sector, how we can capture more of the rains that fall, how we can distribute that to water-deprived areas, especially when you consider, notwithstanding the rains that are falling right now, but the extended dry periods and droughts that we're experiencing. So this is a very transformative, very important project in our national development. The value of that project is 125 million EC dollars. And that is provided in terms of grant support from the GCF, but also support from the German government.
The opportunity also presented itself to have dialogue with stakeholders of the GIZ, the German Development Agency, which is the implementing agency for the project.
Contracts between GIZ and the government of Grenada should be concluded by the end of this month. So we should see a launch, and that should be a big event for us as soon as possible, hopefully in the month of October. And we'll start to see boots on the ground by the end of this year. And this project will touch every single community, the length and breadth of Grenada, and provide significant job opportunities for our men and women in terms of the implementation of this project.
The Carriacou Community College has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the University of the Virgin Islands that paves the way for an academic partnership between both institutions. Students enrolled in programs at TAMCC will be able to transfer their credits to the university, which is located in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Principal of Carriacou Community College, Dr. Jeffrey Britton, is pleased that this partnership gives the students the privilege to more academic opportunities.
There is nothing more important to us at the college than ensuring that the highest quality education is available to our students and to all Grenadians. At the same time, TAMCC has the opportunity to collaborate with this regional university on its pathways to greatness, academic quality and excellence, student development and success, the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, institutional research and planning, institutional assessment and student learning outcomes. These will enhance our ongoing pursuit of an effective and continuous quality assurance mechanism to ensure compliance with the internal and external audit of our programs and to extend and enhance what we do.
Mr. Haldane Davies, Vice President for Business Development and Innovation and Executive Director of the University of Virgin Islands, says this is the beginning of a strong relationship.
There are many things here at TAMCC that you do that I'm sure we will take a very close look at and see how we can model what you do and learn from you. And there are things that we do at UVI, as Principal Britton said in his remarks, that you'll be looking at here at TAMCC. And we look forward to that strong collaboration. Our goal, and both of us agree on this quite strongly, that this is not another paper and pen exercise. We need to see real action after today, going forward, to make sure that this is fully implemented all the way.
Also present at the MOU signing on Tuesday was Interim Vice Provost for Access and Enrollment Services at the UVI, David Winnie. He says that the MOU goes into immediate effect.
It is effective immediately, and so we are already accepting applications for admission for students to begin with us in January 2020, spring term in essence. And so we admit students for fall or spring, and so the funding is available. We were also able to make this offer available to returning students, and so I don't believe we have a current student from Grenada that I'm aware of, but should we, and I will do my research on that when I get back to the office, because effective today, the discount is also available to he or she.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on, people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me, no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
Continuing the news, it's still at the proposal stage, but an ambitious project to convert streetlights to energy-efficient LEDs can save the government thousands of dollars. It was one of the projects discussed with the Green Climate Fund and other stakeholders by Minister for Climate Resilience, Senator Simon Steele, when he recently attended a global warming conference in the Republic of Korea.
The first is what we call the G-LEAP project. This is an energy efficiency, renewable energy project, which will convert all of our street lights from the energy inefficient sodium light bulbs to energy efficient LEDs. So this will reduce government's public electricity bill significantly, and those monies can be invested in other areas, other productive areas. It would also make all of government's public buildings, some 40 buildings, carbon neutral by installing solar panels on many of our public buildings.
Senator Steele says a financial facility will also be provided for the private sector to access the necessary financial resources to implement energy-efficient solutions in their businesses.
That project is valued at somewhere in the region of 68 million EC dollars. So we're still completing the writing of that project, and that is together with the Caribbean Development Bank and UN Environment, and we hope to have that submitted to the GCF at the earliest possible opportunity.
Persons involved in the Enhanced Country Poverty Assessment and those preparing for the Population and Housing Census are participating in a 4-day workshop on statistical communication and advocacy as part of moves towards better statistics. There has been greater focus regionally and internationally on the importance of statistics as a result of development agendas like the Sustainable Development Goals and the Samoa Pathway, which address the need for stats in small island developing states. Mr. Timon Charles, Deputy Director of the Central Statistical Office, says as stakeholders they have a critical role to play in advocating for the use of statistics for evidence-based planning and decision-making.
We'll be working on our census communication plan because we will be conducting our census in 2021. So we have to start the planning process now. So we'll be doing our census communication plan, and also the part of the workshop will involve in terms of how to teach stakeholders to communicate with the media and to work with the media in disseminating statistical data to the public.
The training targets public sector stakeholders in the national statistical system who are directly or indirectly involved in the production and dissemination of statistical information and statistical advocacy. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.